Road Rage 3 is a Toge-style street racing game that was released for the PlayStation in 2001, originally in Japan, and then would be released later in other regions, and would be developed by Atlas Games and would be published by Phoenix Games. And the game would pit players to race as a multitude of different Japanese classic JDM sports cars and coupes, with the idea to race in Toge style events and even drift events to become the fastest and best racer on the track, with access to over 30 different cars and different multiplayer modes and challenges to unlock different features within the game. The game received decent reviews at launch and considered the game to be a worthwhile experience, and also has enough pick up and play appeal while having a good entry level feel and vibe to it that is perfect for the casual gamer at best. The game would also be known as Toge 3 in the Japanese region, and definitely offers up a really good mix of vehicles and just good general gameplay. The one thing that's apparent with this game as well is visually you know that it's an arcade game, as it has very arcade style visuals and aesthetics, but considering it's an early PlayStation game, it is also a very good looking game as well, as for its time upon release it would have been considered to be among some of the better looking and visually impressive racing games seen on the PS2, as it does have really good graphics and it does have a great selection of cars. The one noticeable aspect about this game is as well is while you do also have access to the iconic 90s Japanese classic cars, you also have access to a multitude of other unknown and very rare earlier generation cars from Japan, even from the early 80s and beyond, with the likes of the very early editions of the Mitsubishi Lancer, the Mazda RX-7 and other versions of iconic cars. And the goal is to race against opponents and use drifting tactics and elements to try and overtake your opponents in order to win or get the best times and the best overall score so that you can proceed and progress through the campaigns. But it definitely offers up a good balance in terms of its gameplay style, as it does have really good handling physics and characteristics. Although not the most refined racer of its time, but it definitely offers up a good balance between drifting and just outright speed and unique elements of gameplay that will appeal to a variety of different gamers out there, especially if you're a fan of Japanese cars. This will definitely appeal to you. It is a really good solid all-round experience, and especially for an early PS1 title is definitely deserving of a few playthroughs for sure. It is a good solid title. It's a very good looking title in all respects to it, and for its time, because of the visual prowess of the game and the way it had and handled itself with certain dynamics, it definitely presented the PlayStation in a whole different light, because it really showed the quality and the possibilities of what the PlayStation 2 console had to offer for that time, as it was visually impressive back in its day. It's just a good all-round balanced game in all respects to it. And even for myself personally, years later I went back to collecting games for both the PS1 and the PS2, and I wanted to experience games that I couldn't get back in the day or that I overlooked, and this was one of those games. And I do remember getting it cheap on eBay one year, and I remember getting access to it again. I just wanted to experience it and I wasn't disappointed. Now again, it does take a little bit to get used to, especially when you're playing it in general starting off, but when you get into it, it is a very good game, a really good solid all-round experience, and I highly recommend that anyone that wants to play these type of racing games will have a lot of fun with it for sure. It will present enough unique challenge to keep you entertained for a while, plus it just has some awesome cars too, so that is worthwhile in itself. And I would love to know your thoughts on Road Rage 3 for the PS2 if you have played the game yourself back in the day, and if so, what do you think of the game overall? I'd love to hear whatever stories you have of this game, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And if you would like to see more content on the channel around other types of racing games similar to Road Rage 3, then you can check out the playlist here on the screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.